What happens inside your arteries when you eat this food? Here's a startling truth. Within minutes of a meal, your artery lining can either relax and flow like a quiet river or become irritated, sticky, and slightly swollen, more like a congested road after a fender bender. The difference often comes down to this food on your plate. Today, I'll show you exactly what happens inside your arteries after certain meals. The good, the bad, and the downright surprising. You'll learn what instantly stiffens your arteries, what makes blood particles more likely to clog, and what actually polishes the inner lining to help it heal. And I won't just explain the science, I'll give you practical, simple ways to tilt the chemistry in your favor at the very next meal. Welcome to Bravhealth. I'm glad you're here. If you find this helpful, please tap like, subscribe for more heart-smart videos, and tell me in the comments which food shocked you the most. Let's start with the star of the post-meal drama, your endothelium, which is the delicate inner skin of your blood vessels. Think of it as Teflon for your arteries. The endothelium releases nitric oxide, a tiny gas molecule that tells the artery to relax and widen. Nitric oxide, by the way, is simply the body's own open the pipes signal. Now, when you eat a heavy meal high in certain fats and sugars, the endothelium becomes less responsive. It's like the volume is turned down on that open up message. Why does that matter? Because even a brief loss of flexibility, called endothelial dysfunction, meaning your artery can't widen on cue, can raise blood pressure temporarily and make the blood more turbulent. Have you ever felt a bit sluggish after a greasy lunch? That fog can reflect what's happening in your vessels too. Practical tip. The simplest way to protect nitric oxide at the same meal is to include nitrate-rich vegetables, beetroot, rocket, and spinach, which your mouth bacteria convert to nitrite, and then to nitric oxide in your blood. Now, here's another one that might surprise you. Let's talk about the highly processed fried meal, the crisp and golden temptation. When you eat deep-fried foods, you're often getting oxidized oils and sometimes trans fats. Oxidized oil means the fat molecules have reacted with oxygen and become slightly damaged. Imagine iron rusting. Fats can rust too. Inside your arteries, those oxidized lipids can provoke oxidative stress, which simply means an imbalance between reactive molecules and your body's defenses. Oxidative stress irritates the endothelium, prompting it to express adhesion molecules, tiny docking stations that make white blood cells and platelets stick more easily. Have you ever wondered why a fast food binge can leave you feeling puffy or inflamed the next day? That stickiness is part of the reason. Practical suggestion: if you fancy something crisp, air fry at home using a fresh, heat-stable oil like extra virgin olive oil for light sautéing or rapeseed oil for slightly higher heat, and pair it with a pile of colorful veg to deliver antioxidants, compounds like polyphenols, which are plant chemicals that mop up those reactive species. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Enter postprandial lipemia. Don't worry. It just means fat in the blood after a meal. When you eat a meal rich in fat, your gut packages fat into chylomicrons, which are tiny fat-carrying parcels. These chylomicrons circulate in your blood and temporarily make it milky. That's normal. The issue is size and persistence. Oversized, long-lasting chylomicrons can bump into the artery wall and deposit cholesterol remnants. Imagine delivery vans that never unload, circling the block and scraping the curb. Eventually, there's damage. Do you tend to graze on rich snacks all afternoon? That can keep your blood in a constant post-meal state, never letting vessels rest. Practical takeaway: create a cholesterol sponge effect by adding viscous fiber. Beta-glucan from oats and barley is brilliant. Beta-glucan is a gel-forming fiber that traps cholesterol in the gut so less enters your bloodstream. A small bowl of oat porridge or a barley salad with lunch can reduce the size and lifespan of those fat parcels. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, pastries, sweetened drinks cause a rapid sugar surge. Your body responds with insulin, a hormone that helps sugar enter cells for energy. But that swift spike can generate glycation, where sugar sticks to proteins and forms advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. Think of AGES as caramel on a creme brulee, delicious on dessert, not great on your artery lining. AGES stiffen proteins in the vessel wall and reduce nitric oxide. Have you noticed a post-dessert crash followed by a headache? That could be your vessels tightening. Practical suggestion: if you do enjoy dessert, add a squeeze of lemon or a dash of cinnamon. Lemon's acid and cinnamon's polyphenols slow gastric emptying, meaning food leaves your stomach a bit more slowly, reducing that sharp sugar rise. Pairing sweets with protein and fiber, such as Greek yogurt and berries, also blunts the spike. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Processed meats, sausages, bacon, deli slices bring a stealthy duo: sodium and nitrites. Sodium is simply salt, which can draw water into the bloodstream and increase pressure. Nitrites, when used as preservatives, can form nitrosamines, compounds linked with vascular damage, especially when high heat is involved. Inside your arteries, high sodium makes the vessel tighten and the endothelium less responsive, while nitrosative stress, an overabundance of nitrogen-based reactive molecules, can injure that protective lining. Do you find your rings tighter after a salty meal? That's a hint your vessels are under pressure. Practical tip: if you love a sandwich, swap in thick-cut roast chicken or lentil patties and layer with peppery rocket tomato and a smear of mustard for the savory umami, that deep savory taste. Try smoked paprika or roasted mushrooms instead of bacon. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Let's turn to a food that actually pampers your arteries: extra virgin olive oil. Despite being a fat, its main fatty acid is oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat, meaning the molecule has a single double bond, making it less prone to oxidative damage. More importantly, olive oil is rich in polyphenols like hydroxytyrosol, plant antioxidants that protect the endothelium and help maintain nitric oxide. Inside your arteries, a polyphenol-rich oil acts like a gentle polish, reducing adhesion molecules and calming inflammation, which simply means the immune system's alarm is quieted. Have you ever noticed how a salad dressed with olive oil feels satisfying without the heavy slump? That's partly your vessels staying relaxed. Practical suggestion: use a peppery, fresh, extra virgin olive oil as your default dressing and finishing oil. If it tickles the back of your throat, that's often a sign of higher polyphenols. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Dark leafy greens, rocket, spinach, watercress, are loaded with natural nitrates, which your saliva bacteria convert to nitrite and then to nitric oxide in your blood. Remember, nitric oxide is your natural vessel relaxer. The fascinating twist is how mouthwash can blunt this benefit, because it wipes out the very bacteria that perform the conversion. Inside your arteries, a nitrate-rich salad at lunch can improve flow by dinner. Do you swish antiseptic mouthwash after every meal? You might be turning off your nitrate switch. Practical suggestion: if you need mouthwash, pick alcohol-free and use sparingly, and chew your greens well to mix them with saliva. Even a small glass of beetroot juice a few times a week can make arteries more supple. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Cocoa-rich and flavanols, the natural compounds in high cacao dark chocolate, has a remarkable effect on endothelial function. Flavanols stimulate an enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or ENOS for short, which is the cellular machine that makes nitric oxide. Inside your arteries, more ENOS activity often means better dilation, but there's a catch. Chocolate needs to be genuinely high in cocoa and low in sugar. A sugary, milk-heavy bar can undo the gain by spiking glucose and adding saturated fat that isn't balanced by flavanols. Have you used chocolate as a pick-me-up only to feel jittery later? That's likely the sugar surge. Practical suggestion: choose 85% cacao or higher and think of it as a condiment. 2 squares after a meal, ideally with nuts or berries to round out the nutrient profile. But wait, the next one might be even more interesting. Oily fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines deliver EPA and DHA, which are long-chain omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are simply fats with their first double bond at the third carbon from the tail. Chemistry aside, they're anti-inflammatory mediators, meaning they help resolve inflammation rather than fuel it. Inside your arteries, omega-3s make cell membranes more fluid, reduce triglycerides, the circulating fats in your blood, and dampen platelet reactivity, which is how sticky your clotting cells are. Have you noticed how a fish-based dinner feels lighter than a heavy steak? That ease can reflect calmer vessel biology. Practical tip, aim for 2 oily fish meals per week, or if you're plant-based, use algae-derived DHA/EPA supplements since standard flaxseed gives ALA, a shorter omega-3 that your body only partly converts. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Let's visit the breakfast table and talk about oats and barley, the kings of beta-glucan. Beta-glucan, remember, is a viscous fiber that forms a gel in your gut. That gel grabs bile acids, your body's detergent for fat, and carries them out of the body, forcing the liver to pull cholesterol from the circulation to make more bile. Inside your arteries, less circulating LDL, the delivery cholesterol that can lodge in the wall, means quieter plaque formation. Have you ever felt more energized on a porridge morning? That steady energy mirrors steadier blood chemistry. Practical suggestion: for a savory twist, try barley risotto cooked in vegetable stock with peas and mint, or stir a spoon of oat bran into yogurt to boost the gel effect. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Garlic contains organosulfur compounds like allicin, formed when you crush or chop the clove, which have gentle blood pressure lowering effects and may help the endothelium relax. Organosulfur just means sulfur-containing molecules. There's also a link with the microbiome, the community of bacteria in your gut, because these compounds can feed beneficial species that produce short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, which is a small fat that keeps the gut lining healthy and indirectly reduces systemic inflammation. Inside your arteries, less inflammation equals fewer sticky signals. Do you tend to cook garlic until it browns? You may be burning off the allicin. Practical suggestion: crush garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This resting time allows the enzyme alliinase to form allicin, which survives better even with gentle heat. Now, here's another one that might surprise you. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackcurrants, bring anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep colors. Anthocyanins are powerful polyphenols that improve capillary integrity. Capillaries are your tiniest blood vessels and support nitric oxide. Inside your arteries, berry polyphenols reduce oxidative stress and help LDL resist oxidation. Oxidized LDL is simply LDL that's been damaged by oxygen. It's much more likely to settle into the artery wall. Have you ever noticed that a bowl of berries doesn't leave you craving more sweets? That's fiber and polyphenols moderating your sugar response. Practical tip: keep a bag of frozen berries. Frozen fruit often retains polyphenols beautifully, and you can stir them into porridge or blend with kefir, a fermented milk drink rich in probiotics, which are helpful bacteria. But wait, the next one is even more interesting. Let's address a trending molecule, TMAO, or trimethylamine N-oxide. It forms when gut bacteria digest compounds like choline and carnitine, found in high amounts in red meat and egg yolks, and the liver converts them to TMAO. TMAO has been linked to increased platelet reactivity and altered cholesterol handling in the artery wall. Inside your vessels, consistently high TMAO may shift the environment toward more traffic buildup. Does that mean eggs are forbidden? Not necessarily. Context matters. Your gut bacteria profile and what else you eat make a big difference. Practical suggestion: if you enjoy eggs, balance them with plenty of fiber and polyphenols. Think of veg-packed omelet with herbs, spinach, and mushrooms, or swap some servings for tofu scramble with turmeric, which contains curcumin, a bright yellow compound that calms inflammatory signaling. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Speaking of turmeric, curcumin interacts with NF-kappa B, short for nuclear factor kappa B, which is a master switch for inflammation inside your cells. When NF-kappa B is dialed down, the endothelium sends fewer distress signals. Inside your arteries, regular exposure to curcumin, particularly with black pepper containing piperine, which boosts absorption, can make the vessel environment quieter. Have you ever tried a golden milk at night, warm milk, or a plant alternative with turmeric and a pinch of pepper? It's a simple ritual with a biochemical nudge. Practical suggestion: add a teaspoon of turmeric to soups or lentils. Just remember the pepper and a little fat, like olive oil, to help absorption. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, pistachios combine healthy fats, magnesium, and arginine. Arginine is an amino acid, essentially a building block of protein, and it's the raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide. Magnesium, meanwhile, helps blood vessels relax by modulating calcium channels. Think of it as a gentle brake on contraction. Inside your arteries, a small handful of nuts most days can reduce LDL, improve HDL, the collecting cholesterol that scavenges excess, and keep the endothelium responsive. Worried about calories? Nuts are energy dense, yes, but they're also satiating, meaning they keep you full, which can help with weight management, a major driver of vessel health. Practical suggestion: choose dry roasted or raw, unsalted, and use them as a crunchy topping for salads instead of croutons. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Let's get quirky with mushrooms, particularly oyster and shiitake. They contain ergothioneine, a unique antioxidant amino acid. Think of it as a cell guardian that concentrates in tissues prone to oxidative stress, including the endothelium. Some mushrooms also carry beta-glucans of their own, aiding cholesterol management. Inside your arteries, ergothioneine acts like a dedicated antioxidant valet, neutralizing reactive species before they nick your vessel lining. Do you usually push mushrooms to the side? You might be sidelining a vascular ally. Practical tip: saute mushrooms with garlic and thyme. Finish with a splash of tamari, fermented soy sauce rich in savory compounds, to satisfy that umami craving without processed meat. But wait, this next one is even more interesting. Fermented foods such as kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi deliver probiotics, live beneficial bacteria, and postbiotics, which are the helpful substances those bacteria produce, like short-chain fatty acids. These SCFAs, especially butyrate, acetate, and propionate, signal through receptors on immune cells to reduce systemic inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, which simply means your cells use sugar more gracefully. Inside your arteries, lower inflammation and steadier glucose mean the endothelium feels less harassed. Ever notice skin looks calmer when your gut is happy? Your vessels often mirror that. Practical suggestion: include a spoonful of fermented veg alongside meals, or choose kefir instead of a sugary dessert. Start small if you're new to ferments, as your gut may need time to adapt. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Green tea brings catechins, especially EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, a mouthful that simply means a potent antioxidant. Catechins improve endothelial function and may inhibit LDL oxidation. Inside your arteries, a cup of green tea can be like opening a window in a stuffy room, subtle but noticeable over time. Sensitive to caffeine? Green tea usually has less than coffee, and you can brew it shorter for even less. Practical suggestion: steep for just 2 minutes to avoid bitterness, and try matcha, powdered green tea, whisked into warm water for a concentrated dose of catechins. But wait, the next one might be even more interesting. Let's touch on meal timing and the after-meal window. For about 4 hours after a heavy meal, your blood can be more lipemic and more prone to oxidative hits. Think of it as rush hour. Stack 2 rich meals close together and you extend rush hour into a traffic jam. Inside your arteries, that means longer exposure to chylomicron remnants and glucose swings. Ever had a big lunch followed by an indulgent afternoon snack and felt unusually tired? Your vessels may be signaling overload. Practical suggestion: allow a reasonable gap between rich meals. And if you know dinner will be celebratory, keep lunch light and full of fiber, vegetable soups, legumes, and whole grains. which set you up for smoother traffic later. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, black beans are packed with resistant starch and soluble fiber. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and feeds gut bacteria in the colon, producing those beneficial short-chain fatty acids. Inside your arteries, legumes reduce LDL, improve insulin sensitivity, and even modestly lower blood pressure thanks to potassium and magnesium. Do beans make you worry about bloating? Rinse canned legumes thoroughly and introduce them slowly. Your microbiome adapts and discomfort usually fades. Practical tip: make a quick salad of lentils, tomatoes, parsley, and lemon. The vitamin C in lemon helps with iron absorption from the lentils. But wait, the next one is even more interesting. Avocado provides monounsaturated fat like olive oil, plus fiber and plant sterols. Plant sterols are cholesterol lookalikes that compete with dietary cholesterol for absorption. They're like decoys at the gut level. Inside your arteries, that translates to less LDL available to lodge in the wall. Ever noticed how avocado leaves you comfortably full without a slump? That's the fat-fiber combo stabilizing your post-meal chemistry. Practical suggestion: swap butter on toast for mashed avocado with a sprinkle of chili flakes and a squeeze of lime. You'll get creaminess with a friendlier effect on your vessels. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Sesame seeds and tahini offer lignans, notably sesamin and sesamolin, plant compounds that support lipid metabolism and may improve antioxidant capacity. Inside your arteries, sesame's lignans can reduce oxidative stress and help maintain a healthier LDL profile. Do you love hummus? Stirring in a little extra tahini not only improves texture, but adds these vessel-loving compounds. Practical tip: toast sesame seeds lightly to coax out flavor and scatter them over steamed greens with a drizzle of tamari for a quick heart-smart side. But wait, the next one is even more interesting. Pomegranate's brim with punicalagins, large polyphenols that act as robust antioxidants. In the bloodstream, they can reduce oxidative stress and support nitric oxide retention by keeping it from breaking down too quickly. Inside your arteries, that means a greater chance of smooth dilation. Have you tried adding pomegranate arils, the juicy seeds, to a salad? They offer sweetness with fiber rather than the naked sugar hit of juice alone. Practical suggestion: if you do enjoy juice, use a small splash of pomegranate as a dressing base with olive oil and lemon rather than a full glass to keep sugar balanced. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Coffee can be friend or foe depending on dose and timing. Its polyphenols help fight oxidation, but caffeine briefly raises blood pressure and can amplify post-meal adrenaline. Adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone that tightens vessels for action. Inside your arteries, a strong coffee immediately after a fatty, sugary meal may compound the temporary stiffening. Do you love a cappuccino with a pastry? Your arteries might prefer the coffee first, pastry later, or better, coffee with a fiber-rich breakfast. Practical suggestion: have coffee with or before a balanced meal, and if you're sensitive, choose a medium roast or switch 1 cup to decaf to keep vessel tone calmer. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Alcohol, especially wine, is often touted for polyphenols like resveratrol. While small amounts can briefly raise HDL, alcohol also creates acetaldehyde, a reactive byproduct that stresses the endothelium, and it can loosen appetite controls, leading to heavier eating. Inside your arteries, the net effect depends on context and amount. Ever notice how nibbles grow into a feast after a second glass? That excess is what tips the chemistry unfavorably. Practical suggestion: if you choose to drink, keep it modest, have it with a meal rich in vegetables and healthy fats, and alternate each glass with sparkling water and citrus to protect hydration and limit intake. But wait, the next one is even more interesting. A curious player is sulfur-rich brassica veg, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, because of sulforaphane, a compound that activates NRF2, a gene pathway that boosts your body's own antioxidant systems. NRF2 is like flipping on the master switch for internal cleanup crews. Inside your arteries, more of your own antioxidants means less damage from daily mealtime stress. Do you boil your broccoli to a pale mush? You're losing some of the good stuff. Practical suggestion: steam lightly or stir fry, and add a sprinkle of mustard powder at the end. Mustard contains the enzyme myrosinase, which helps form sulforaphane if cooking has diminished it. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Citrus peel, yes, the zest, contains hesperidin and naringenin, flavonoids that help vessels relax and improve lipid handling. Inside your arteries, these compounds quietly support nitric oxide and reduce oxidative hits. Do you usually discard the peel? You might be binning a vascular tonic. Practical tip: grate a little lemon or orange zest into yogurt, salads, or olive oil dressings. The aroma alone can make a simple dish taste restaurant-worthy while dosing your endothelium with a treat. But wait, the next one is even more interesting. Hydration sounds basic, but the way you hydrate matters. Very salty, ultra-processed foods pull water into the bloodstream, while alcohol and caffeine can increase urine output. Inside your arteries, mild dehydration concentrates the blood, modestly increasing viscosity, thickness, so it flows less freely. Have you had a headache after a salty takeaway? A thicker blood state may be part of it. Practical suggestion: include watery veg like cucumber and tomato, sip still or sparkling water with a squeeze of citrus during meals, and consider mineral-rich waters with magnesium if you struggle with muscle tension. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Herbs deserve a spotlight. Rosemary, thyme, and oregano offer rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid, tongue twisters that simply mean strong plant antioxidants. Inside your arteries, using these herbs in marinades for meats can reduce the formation of lipid oxidation products during cooking. That's the rusty fat we talked about, so fewer troublesome molecules ever reach your bloodstream. Do you grill at high heat until charred? That's when these herbs earn their keep. Practical tip: marinate with olive oil, lemon, garlic, and herbs. Cook at moderate heat and rest the meat to keep juices and potential irritants where they belong, not in your arteries. Now here's another one that might surprise you. Consider the glycemic buddy system, pairing carbohydrates with acids. Vinegar or citrus, fat, and fiber can significantly smooth the glucose curve. Inside your arteries, that means fewer glycation sparks and less endothelial stress. Have you tried a pre-meal salad with a tangy vinaigrette? That simple ritual can make the entire meal friendlier to your vessels. Practical suggestion: start meals with a small salad or a plate of chopped veg and hummus. The fiber forms a gentle barrier in the gut that slows sugar absorption from the main course. Finally, let's demystify the "this food" hook. The truth is, there isn't just one villain or one hero. This food can be the deep-fried, ultra-processed meal that stiffens your arteries for hours, or it can be the beetroot, olive oil, garlic, and walnut meal that coaxes them open and calm. Inside your arteries, every bite nudges chemistry in real time. Sugars caramelize proteins, fats ride in tiny parcels, plant pigments shield the lining, fibers mop up cholesterol, and spices whisper to your genes to turn down the inflammatory volume. Isn't it empowering to know that small swaps at one meal can make a difference by the next? So here's your friendly summary to take into the kitchen. Protect your endothelium, the Teflon lining, by giving it nitric oxide-friendly foods like leafy greens, beetroot, and cocoa. Keep post-meal fats civilized with fiber from oats, barley, and legumes. Choose fats that carry guardians like extra virgin olive oil and nuts. Add color and polyphenols from berries, pomegranate, and herbs. And be clever with pairings. Acid, fiber, and protein tame sugar spikes. If you do indulge, buffer it with vegetables. Time your coffee thoughtfully and let restorative meals follow celebrations. Your arteries don't ask for perfection. They respond beautifully to patterns. If this helped you picture what's happening inside your blood vessels, give this video a like, share it with someone who loves food as much as you do, and subscribe to Bravhealth for more practical, science-made simple health guides. Tell me in the comments which swap you're going to try first. Beetroot before dinner, sesame-topped greens, or that 2-square dark chocolate ritual. Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next Bravhealth video.